All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Deontay Wilder breaks his silence, has a great interview on a channel called I Think We Need Counseling, in which he does everything that I wanted him to do. He ignores Dillian Whyte, puts pressure on Tyson Fury, and explains in detail and shows through his character why this guy is a champion, no doubt about it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So Deontay Wilder gave another excellent interview on a podcast, and thank you for the people that sent it to me and shared it with me, called I Think I Need Counseling Podcast. A name I can appreciate, dog. Don't we all need a little counseling, a little help in life, man? So Deontay Wilder, who has not given an interview that I know of in a while, gave an interview to these young men. Very professional podcast, great questions. They did what I really like is, and I do oftentimes when I interview fighters, is I talked about a lot of the things not connected to boxing. So, or they spoke, in this instance, they spoke about a lot of things not connected to boxing that really gives you an opportunity to know Deontay Wilder. And I've got to commend these guys because, you know, outside of some channels on YouTube, this is the first time that I've heard Deontay Wilder interviewed where they asked about the Tyson Fury cheating and they acted like they had sense. I was so impressed because they didn't hedge on whether or not Tyson Fury cheated or not. They just acknowledged that he did, and he said, "Look, the world is, you know, at first there were a lot of people that didn't believe it, but through Deontay Wilder being very, very insistent, and a lot of other people being very, you know, dedicating their time, dedicating their resources, dedicating their, you know, or donating or giving their energy to getting the word out about what happened in that second fight. Now, many people know that Tyson Fury cheated. And it is just the talk of the people who are, I believe, getting paid by promoters to ignore it that act like it didn't happen. But for the most part, everybody that knows and sees or is asked to look at that fight, that's an important thing. Because now that it's been exposed, all any regular person has to do is know what to look for and then go look at the fight. And then they will see exactly what it is that people are saying. So I loved in this interview that they did not even act for a second as if there was some question about Tyson Fury cheating. Tyson Fury cheated. He cheated heinously. And he, in my opinion, should be thrown out of the sport of boxing. But that's not necessarily the subject matter for this video. Deontay Wilder, who is very insistent that Tyson Fury not be thrown out of the sport of boxing, but that Tyson Fury get back in the ring with him and fight, and what do you call, shoot a fair one with him instead of cheating, you know, but that's what Deontay Wilder wants. They go into the interview, they don't talk a lot about it, but when they asked him about it and he answered it, once again, for me, he shows me exactly why I support that man as a champion, and a champion in life, not just a champion in boxing. Because this guy is somebody that is willing to do what so many people will not do. And that is tell the truth. Even when the truth is going to cause you problems. It's at least the truth. So the problems that you get are honest problems. If you tell the truth on somebody, right? You tell the truth on something, right? Not saying you got to go out and snitch on this guy or that or cause problems when you're just telling something. What do you call that? Kids call that dry snitching, right? Where you're just out there, oh, let me tell them, yeah, not that, right? In a situation where you and one other person are going at it and they cheat you and they take your money, it is not snitching to go at that dude and say, you cheated, give me my money back, or run another one back. That is telling the truth, especially when there are a lot of people that gambled their money on that fight. And that's some things that people forget. Deontay Wilder is not just championing himself, quite honestly, he's championing the pocketbooks of all the people Tyson Fury ripped off by coming in there cheating like that so blatantly. But aside from that example, right, Deontay Wilder talked about, excuse me, Deontay Wilder talked about and explained how that was a personality characteristic of his that he's had his entire life, right? And that is something, and that's why I'm saying that dude is a champion, no doubt, because there's a definition for the word champion. Champion, you can win a contest, but you can also be kind of like a hero or a major or somebody that's responsible for accomplishing something or protecting something, right? Like the truth, right? You can be a champion for the truth. Like, look, man, I know that I'm going to make a lot of money. I can make a lot of money if I stayed quiet because you'll give me extra money on the back end and I'll take a couple more fights and I'll make it up it'll all come out in the wash. But no, I'm not going to do that because I'm a champion for my people. And they wanted to see me win that fight. I didn't go into that fight just for the money. I went into that fight to prove to my people that I'm a better fighter than that guy. And to prove to his people that I'm a better fighter than your guy. And your guy cheated. And there's no amount of money that's going to get me that back. So, no, I want the fight back. I want the fight. That's a champion for the truth. That is not something that journalists are engaged in right now because they're spending the vast majority of their time lying to the boxing public that Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury is a fight that is going to happen. It's not, the chances of that happening, even if Deontay Wilder would lose in arbitration, which I don't think he will, but in some wild situation, which I don't think is happening, and Tyson Fury gets away with stealing all these people's money, what's the likelihood of Anthony Joshua fighting him? Eddie Hearn's just going to go into the same mode. Let's build it up for the next 2 years. You have 2 more fights. I have 2 more fights. We stack more money. It'll be bigger in the end. And then somewhere in between, somebody's going to get cheated. Somebody's going to jump up in a ring with loaded gloves or under the influence of performance-enhancing drugs. Something like that's going to pop off with one of the 2 of the fighters. Because honestly, there's already been some funny business that took place in both of those guys' fights. In the case of Tyson Fury, the guy he fought against claimed that he had something could have been put in his water because his legs were shot. Against Anthony Joshua, people are saying that that's exactly what happened to him in New York when he fought Andy Ruiz, where he was in his locker room before the fight and had a panic attack, right? A panic attack. And when he got up in there, he felt like his legs were gone. Come on, man. You got Alexander Povetkin getting in the ring with COVID. Legs gone. No, dude, there's too much shady stuff going on definitely in UK heavyweight boxing. Way too much. Way too much. I've read their performance-enhancing drug manual, and let me tell you, it's legal over there to use performance-enhancing drugs. It's not even illegal. All you have to do is either get a pass ahead of time or get a pass after you get caught. Either way, you're good. And if you don't believe me, check Dillian Whyte when he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs before the Oscar Rivas fight. And they let him fight. And then they let him fight again, and only thing they did is repeat their same decision that they gave. Oh, we accept his explanation of why this stuff is in his system, and we let him fight. They never even tested his B sample. They never even went to look. Oh, is it in both samples? No. Because what did they give him? More than likely, they gave him what they call a retroactive therapeutic use exemption to cheat. So, no, dude. Deontay Wilder is a champion in a lot of ways. The WBC championship is just one. Okay? And if they want to keep it, they can keep it because they got a champion right now that is a complete and utter piece of garbage. Okay, so your belt is only as good as your champion. That's how that works. Your cause will be as successful as your champion is powerful. That's how that works. If you want to do something and you got a champion and somebody else wants to do something else and they got a champion, if your champion can't beat their champion, you lose. Inside the ring and outside the ring. And as it concerns the rest of life outside of boxing, I'll ride with Deontay Wilder in his honesty and his courage any day over the natural size and definitely cowardice of Tyson Fury. That's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.